All right, here we are, guys. You can see what my bags are going to look like for the Pro Glenmonarch Cup. What I'm going to do, you can see first time using this account. I'm going to jump in, show you guys a golden shot here. Show you what I've been messing around with for this. Looks like the wind is in the face here. So what I'll typically do, maybe just crank up the spin a little bit. It's a little bit small though. So I'm thinking maybe half a bar, somewhere in there. And I'll just be trying to play wind effect, more so than anything. So you can see that I'm kind of keeping it out to the right just a little bit here before I do my ring adjustment. Pretty close to 1.2-ish per ring. Thinking almost 5 rings here in this situation. Perfect ball. And let's just see how this comes in. And right into the hole. So very easy one to get lots and lots of hole-in-ones. So hopefully you're doing that across a lot of accounts. You know, I have at least kind of a 50% hole-out rate on this one. So very straightforward. I think this one's already on my channel, so I didn't even, bother doing this. There you can see I did get big topper in that gold chest, but even more importantly, sometimes, the 9 berserkers that you can get, that can fund an entire tournament plus some for you when you're able to get that to fall. So with that being said, let's jump in here. Take a look at the Glenmonarch Pro Cup. Be my first look at these holes in the Pro Division. So bear with me a little bit while I try to get my bearings here. So typically for Pro Division, they will give us a tailwind on this hole. So let's see if they do that. Not quite. Not quite. So what I typically like to do is try to get it up just a little bit farther. You'll see that I'm going to go pretty max and try to just kind of favor that left-hand side more so than anything. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 rings here for a land zone. Maybe just a little bit of curl and come off that power. I don't want to go long into that rough on the first hop. So that's the only mistake that you really need to avoid is landing long in this rough. So here you can see I'm just essentially just sliding it up here. And typically the sweet spot is maybe about 6.5 bars of top spin. It's pretty much kind of the max that you can go. You can see I don't quite have that much on this club. But, let's say, for instance, I great balled that to the right. It might have not clipped the rough at all and just kind of shot up this right and even been an even longer drive. So if you can play that just right, but as I mentioned, 6.5 is usually where it tops out. And that's all that you'll want to do, or else it'll roll out of fairway on you. So let's take a look here. Should be a relatively easy approach. You'll see we're close to mid-club a little bit. I need somewhere right around here. More so than anything, I'll try to play the wind effect. So you'll see that I'm kind of intentionally left spinning it, trying to keep this ball from going too far. And at mid-ish club, 3 per ring. We go just a little bit more for the wind effect, a little bit more than 2.25 rings here in this situation. Perfect ball. And it's just a hair too much. So one thing that I want to mention, it's probably best that you don't qualify today. You've really got to get it going. You got to make 1 and 2, 1 and 4, plus still Eagle 3 if you want to go. I really recommend more exposure as opposed to qualifying today. So try to use tomorrow as your qualifying round. If you're in the pro division, hopefully you guys got multiple accounts and can get multiple looks at the division. It's much better that you kind of stack these accounts in one division and try to get as many practice attempts as you can, because what you'll typically see is guys rehearsing about 30% of the exposure of what they usually get in usual tournaments. Guys will play it that much more, 60-70% more plays than what you'll see. They get a lot more plays. So with that being said, people are more prone to mistakes, and the more dialed in you can get, the better that your tournament results are going to be. So if you can still shoot your consistent number, but do it with less rounds, typically you're going to have a better scoring rounds. What typically may get you a top 10 in usual tournaments will pretty much guarantee you top 3 in these cups. So keep that in mind. Good luck, and hopefully you're able to get some hole outs.